Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th, 1986. And I'll start off by saying, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure of mine to be able to speak about some dogs and for someone to want to actually listen to it. You know, sometimes I run around and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what to do, and I'm still learning, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's fascinating that I have some insight that someone wants to pay attention to. And because I'm not the end result of just know everything and got it all, which I don't believe anybody is. And if somebody is trying to speak that way about they got all the answers, I question that a lot. Like, we're always figuring things out. And the figuring things out is what I want to talk about today. And it comes down to the concept of asking a dog to do something over telling a dog to do something. And I'm going to say a big difference here. And that's why I think, you know, I don't know, but I just think that I know, that I see why a lot of people are struggling with their dogs inside your households. And not even just in your house, but even a working dog with this that I'm going to speak about. Because we're asking them to do too much. And we're begging them to do it. We're pleading with them, please, please, please do it. And you may not think that you're saying and doing and being about that, but the second that you bring that treat out, you're giving that dog a different mindset, a different mind frame. So I want to bring out some treats today just to see how my dog's going to enter. Man, you know the smell of this crap instantly. But to see the differences that what we're doing and what's going on here. As soon as I bring this treat out, this dog he's now 100% in tune with me. And it may seem like I'm telling him what to do. You know, I got this treat and he's here, but right now, my language to the dog, this is just dog to dog communication. Me looking at this dog and speaking to him like a dog, and if another dog came to him and did what I'm doing to him, I am asking, please, please do this. So I give him a treat. So I'm asking again, please, please continue to keep doing that. So I give him a treat. And he's gonna continue to keep on doing it as long as the said treat is still around for me to see what looks really good right now. And this looks good. I can move anywhere, I could do anything. I could get this dog to do whatever I want. He's gonna be looking way prettier than any time you've ever seen this dog. But is he doing it because I'm telling him or I'm asking him? And that's where we're running into problems. Because I'm asking, I'm saying, please sit, please. Okay, thanks for doing it. And I'm gonna change animated just so we can get a good understanding of what's going on here. But please, please, please do it. Please, okay, he's doing it, so I'll give him that treat. As opposed to me switching it up and saying, you know, I don't have no treats now. Now what? Now where do we go? Now what's gonna happen? Because this whole time that I'm asking, can you do this? It doesn't mean that he is going to do it when I don't have a treat for one, or when I'm actually needing him to get it done. Because we run into situations when we need the dogs to start to perform. Not so much as anymore that there's some sort of tricks or some sort of play or some sort of, okay, you can move, some sort of fun stuff. It's when we're in that need, when the dog is gone and it's jumped the neighbor's fence or your fence to get to the neighbor's yard, it's jumped out, it's running down the street, and I need that dog to come back. I can't rely upon asking him, because when that dog is in its having fun and doing what it's doing, the asking isn't gonna work because it's already in something, like such as chasing a rabbit, chasing a deer. You're gonna try to ask it with a treat that is nowhere near as valuable as being in the pursuit of chase of going after a deer or going after especially a little rabbit, especially a squirrel, especially a chicken, especially all these little things. The dog is gonna blow you off pretty much all the time because what it's chasing is fulfilling. It's in its positive environment at that moment, doing what it wants to do. It's living life, it's having fun. So we can't have something to ask the dog at that moment. We have to have something to tell the dog at that moment. So for me, I want to be able to get into the dog's brain of understanding the differences here. So right there, I was asking him, please sit. And now I'm going to tell him, I'm going to give him that pressure with this leash. This is dog communication here that I'm now saying, you doing it. And I'm telling you to do it. I'm not giving you a choice at this moment. And that gets in some people's feelings. And I don't want it to get in your feelings because it's not a bad thing to do that to your dog. It's something to be able to build your relationship to have it really, really nice, because it's gonna be very, very clear to the dogs. Because when I said to do it, they do it. And this is something that I've just come to realize that dogs love the structured foundation of telling them what to do, as opposed to asking them what to do. When I just tell him to sit there, he's what I'm gonna say right now in a neutral stance. He's just listening to my guidance. He's listening to my words. He's listening to what I'm looking for without being in this extra excited, what's coming next, what's coming next, what's coming next stance. And I want to change it here for a second just to see that he's going to change again. He's going to go from, I told him to do it, and now again, I'll ask him. And now he's going to be 100% focused on me and not a great ideal looking way. And in reality, if I just stand here for a second, he'll just automatically do what it is that he thinks is going to get that treat. So I'm saying, oh, please do that. Please do it. Please, 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 please sit. And then he gets up, he's like, oh, please sit. And then he's just going to look at me like, oh, where the snacks at? He's looking for snacks. He think I just dropped a crumb. These dogs will find the tiniest of the tiniest crumbs, which I appreciate. But I'm asking him at this moment. And everything changes in him because it's to his benefit for this moment. But as soon as, like, say, my other dog starts chasing some chickens around and starts getting engaged, that's going to be more interesting than any of these treats that I could possibly give him. So that's where we run into what I'm going to say is a dangerous situation that we're not telling the dogs. And that's what we need as the initial start of the foundation of getting our dogs to have a great relationship with us. If you're in that mode of just constantly asking, pleading, begging, and just what are some other good bribing them and just doing all these things, you're messing up your relationship because your dog looks good in a certain scenario when it's benefiting them. And I'm telling you, we run into the situations with the dogs because it's not in the times that it's benefiting them, but the times that we need it to benefit us. And the most critical time is when we are seeing that our dog is, and ourselves, is in a dangerous situation. And once we get into that dangerous situation, you have to have a layer of the dog understanding that they have to do. They have to. And I'm telling you, I've seen this over and over and over again. The dogs respect us, they cherish us, they love us, they appreciate us, they value us when we tell them what to do, as opposed to trying to hopefully get them to do it because I have something, but instead just saying you're doing it and you have no choice. The dogs thrive off of that, especially, I don't know what it is, but especially all of these farm style dogs. They absolutely love life when we just say, this is what we're looking for. This is what I need done. This is how we're going to do it. You're going to show them the whole thing. You're not going to leave it for just guessing work and throwing any options out there. You're explaining every little thing that you want from them. Every little thing. I want you to sit right here like this right here. I want you to down right here like this right here. I want you to get over here right here like this right now. I want you to get off of this right now, right here, right now. So there's some stuff that I'm going to say it's cool to ask the dogs to do, such as cute, fun tricks. If I want them to sit pretty, if I want them to wave, if I want them to cross his paws, if I want them to bow, if I want them to back up, if I want them to do a somersault, if I want them to do a jumping off a wall, if I want them to do all these things, yeah, let's ask them, hey man, can we please do this? But as far as the daily, everyday maintenance that we need from our dogs to be able to have a nice, successful, calm, relaxed life, we need to tell the dogs what we're looking for. And that doesn't come by being just yanking on this leash and just swinging them around and going all crazy. That's not what I'm saying here. And a lot of people, I think, are getting confused because you're seeing two extremes. You're seeing one side where you're like, oh, that's so cute. That's so good, sweet baby, have a treat. Hopefully he'll start rolling more for me. But just give him a treat. And then you see the other extreme where the person is just yanking a dog and throwing. And that's what we have with our world today. That's what everything is in this world, unfortunately. He had these last little crumbs, man. Is we only have like these extremes going on out here. And then for me personally, I don't go with the positive, with the balance, with the force. I go with the thing to be able to work a dog and get the dog to understand what I want. And that's going to be making sure that I'm using what I need to convince that dog that he has to do something. And to a lot of people, just the way that the world works today, it's what I talk about and what I do with dogs is considered forced training, where I'm going to say, you're on with that. But I can also say, if you're trying to use the leash with the treat, you are forced training. And I can also say, if you are just using the treat, you are forced training. But there's a difference here. The forced training needs to be what the dog understands and not what the human understands. And the dog understands the leash. So when I fix my leash up for a second, and I tell this dog what I want at this moment, and I give him that leash pressure, and he does what I'm looking for, I am telling him what I want. I'm not abusing this animal. I'm not being mean to this animal. I'm not so much as dictating ruthlessly to this animal. I'm saying this is what a dog is. This is how a dog learns. This is how a dog understands. And this is what I'm going to do to get the dog to understand who I am. That I'm not some, I guess a good word and a good term is a pushover. I'm here to make sure that you are doing what I need you to do at all times. Never knows, just let them be free and do what they do. Even in their freeze, they have boundaries, they have limitations. Because some dogs will get obsessed about that free space, and then that's when they go and kill a neighbor's chicken. They go kill a dog. They go and jump the fence and run the neighborhood, and they just take off, and they start having all these issues and all these problems. So there are still boundaries within that free state. That they're never just that's where I can't say a never. They're never going to be just able to do what a dog wants to do. because that's going to put society in danger and our own animal in danger and ourselves in danger. Not so much that anyone should be worried about your dog biting somebody, but getting in front of a car swerves and that can kill a bus of 15 kids. You know, we just don't know that we don't want your dog there. When someone sees a deer, they just hit it. Someone sees a skunk, they just hit it. But when someone sees a dog, it's like, oh, a dog. And then they just get to swerving, and that could be a bus full of 80 kids in there. And we don't want to have our dogs be just savage out there. So even in the free, they have limitations. And in those limitations, they have limitations that we are telling them to do and not asking. Because I don't believe, you know, I'm researching, studying, playing, working, messing with a lot of dogs. I don't believe the dogs understand when we ask. I think the dogs look at us like, I know you want me to do that sit because you keep doing this, you bring a treat out, you want me to do that, you want me to do that. But I don't think that they truly understand it. They don't grasp that. They grasp when we say, hey, I want you to this, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to stand next to me. This is what I want. So he's going to have no choice but to stay close to me because of the said leash. So I'm not really giving him too much space. So then if I'm like, I don't even want you focused back there, I want you looking over here, I am now telling the dog in a way that the dog understands what I'm looking for. I give him a little bit of pressure, I give him a little bit of pressure, I give him a little bit of pressure, and I say, now stop staring at that, I want you to do something different. As soon as I let that pressure stop and let it go, I'm saying to the dog, you're doing what I'm wanting at this moment. And at this moment isn't a time to give him a treat to try to, the reward is not the correct terms that we are using with these words and what we're saying to the dogs. But it's not the time to do that, because all you're gonna do is start to have confusing language going on. You're saying to the dog, you better do it. And then you're saying to the dog, but you better please do it. So the dogs, that's where I just see a lot of confusion going on with so many dogs. Because the dog's like, what the heck do you want? You're asking me to do it, but you're telling me to do it. You're asking me to do it this way, but now you're telling me to do it this way. You're telling me like this, and then you're asking me over here like this. And that's where things start to get very, very wishy-washy. And that's where the dogs start to get to the point that my worst calls are because of treats. And because the dog starts to not know what's expected. So then the dog is going to start to take the treat from you. And when a dog takes the treat from you, it's not cute. It's not pretty. They start to get your hand. That's what this dog does. If I withhold the treat long enough, he starts to take my whole hand away. And I can't blame him, because he's getting into that point of confusion, because he's like, you're telling me, but you're asking me, and I don't know what's going on here. And it's just something that I just constantly keep seeing with dogs is they are begging for us to take the leadership position. They are begging, they're crying all out. They're saying, please tell me to stop doing that. Please tell me to stop digging. Please tell me to stay off the furniture and make me stay off the furniture because you don't want me on the furniture. Please tell me to get on. I got a dog that I'm trying to get on the furniture. Like, lay down there. It's more comfortable for you as opposed to where you are right now. And they're begging, please, please take that leadership position so I don't have to be in this world just guessing and not sure. So then when you have the dog where it's up here and it's jumping all on you and you're like giving it a treat to get off, the dog's like, you asking me to get off. And that's something that I'm going to say is really, Oreo, get down. Johnny, all done. And that's something that I say, that I see, Oreo, get down, that I see is really, really interesting about dogs is they're not dumb people. So when I have a treat here and I give it to him, when I tell him sit, and he knows that every time he sits, he's going to get a treat, just expect that your down stay, your sit stay, your play stay is going to be sloppy. It's going to be very, very, very confusing to the dog, because the dog is going to break its command every time to make sure that it can continue to keep on getting treat after treat after treat. So when you're asking the dogs are like, I can keep this game up. This is a fun game for me. But when you start telling the dogs, the game is no longer there. There's expectations put in place here now. And again, a lot of these things that we're looking for as far as sits and downs and place and crates and weights and stays and all these things, they're not needed for you don't need treats to introduce this to the dogs. Because to me, again, I just see confusion going on with that, because it's the things that we are demanding our dogs to do, because we need them to do some things for us. And the more and more that you're asking them, the more and more you're running in circles with this. Why isn't he staying? Why is he breaking the stay? Because every time he breaks the stay and you put him back, he knows for a fact you're going to give him an extra treat. And the second that he stays an extra, so you do a little jump in front of him and he stays, the second that you do that and he breaks, you're going to go back and you're going to give him so many more treats. These dogs are not dumb people. And sometimes I think we're looking at them like they are. Like they don't know how to manipulate us. They don't know, because that's one thing I'm going to say is dogs know is food, man. Food. They understand food. That's how they came close to us through this whole process of dogs being wild to dogs being with us was food. So they're going to do everything they can to get food from us. They're going to give you the sweetest, softest, cutest little eyes to get food from us. They're going to sit there and just plead and beg and look like a statue to you to get food from us. They're going to go and do something crazy that you've never seen before for food. Why do you think you can see so many of these videos of these dogs doing like so cool of things? Like movie dogs. How do they do so cool of things? For food. Because they'll do anything for that food. But the main thing is there's some things that we absolutely need that we have to have the dogs do as far as just being a dog and understanding who we are, that the food is going to start to misalign what's going on here. That we need to tell the dog what we're looking for. And the number one way to tell the dog what we want is to simply, again, using this leash. So if he's here and I'm like, I don't want you there, I want you over here, I'm going to keep the pressure on until he does what I want. And then he does what I want, then I say that. And then I'll switch it up. And then I'll say, this is what I want. The pressure's on, and this is what I'm looking for from you. This is what I'm expecting. I'm not asking, I'm telling you to do this. And the more that you start telling the dogs to do stuff, the more and more that they end up just falling in love with you, because they can't handle that leadership position. And so many of your dogs in your houses are dealing with that, where they think and have to be, they don't even think it, but they have no choice but to be the leader because they don't see another leader to follow. And dogs want to follow. They want to follow. They are not leaders. They are followers. And the more that you're asking, please, please, please do this for me, the more the dog looks at you like, I definitely can't follow you. Like your dog is barking and it comes back to you and you give it a treat. That dog's like, I can't follow you. Like you super wishy-washy out here. Like you're more scared than I am. So why would the dog care to relax on leash anywhere you go with them? Why would a dog care to listen to anything that you have to say? Because the dogs are begging for us to take that leadership position. And that leadership position happens because we tell them what we want and we don't give them an option. So when you say, I don't want you on the furniture, you stick to that for life. You say, you're not on here. You want your dog to relax on leash, you stick to that for life. This is what my expectations are with you right now, everywhere, everything that we're doing. If every time you stop and you want your dog to lay down or to sit down, you stick to that for life because you have to outperform the dog. The dog's going to test you. They're going to say, well, is it okay this time? But what about this time? What about this time? How about this time? If you want the dog to stop jumping on people, you stick to that for life. You don't give it an option here and there where it's okay. It's acceptable in this, but not acceptable. You stick with it forever. And the dog's like, you are so consistent with making sure these simple boundary rules that I will follow your lead. I will follow everything that you're looking for from me. And that's what the dogs are begging for us to do. And it's not asking. It's not asking, because that's why I think that so many people today are struggling with their dogs. And it's something that I've known that I've never done with dogs is ask, like, please, can you please sit for me? Can you please come here? Can you please not run out the front door? No, I open that front door. He tries to run out and I shut that door a little bit. I might bump on the nose a little bit to say, oh, get back inside. I'm telling you to stay in this house. I'm not asking you please and please. My dogs have never done things that I go and help people with dogs with. And I think that the main thing is I tell them what to do. I don't give them a choice. And it's not in a way that I'm being ruthless or I'm being mean, I'm being savage, I'm being just evil to them. It's none of that. I'm being clear. But dogs understand. With us as humans, still at the end of the day, I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want someone to give me 15 choices and 15 options to get the job done the way you want it to get it done. You're giving me 15 options, but you want it done in one of those options. But you're giving me 15. So you're going to make me go out there and figure all this out and mess up and mess up and mess up and mess up without giving me any guidance. Just tell me what that one is that you want me to do. If you just told me that one, I'll do it. It's done. Simple. We're finished. You're happy. I'm happy. Let's move on. But if you give me 15 options here, I'm going to look at it like, oh, let me try this one. This one seems easiest to me. Then your boss man's going to look at you like, no, that's not what I wanted. And then you do one. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Then you do it. And then you might be the unlucky person, like trying to get a dog to learn how to sit. You might be that unlucky person that goes through 14 of those 15, does all 14 wrong to do the 15th one right in the end. And just irritating the heck out of everybody. And that's what I see going on with dogs. They're going through every single thing that you don't want. Oreo, get out of there. Oh, get down. They're going through all these different things, and you're not clear about what you want. You're not telling them exactly what it is you want. You're begging, hoping, pleading, and just wishing and praying that they finally do what it is that you're looking for. And that's where you're having conflict, because the dogs are like, I don't need to pay attention to you. I don't need to listen to you because you don't ever tell me what to do. You're just constantly in this super passive role of just, I don't knows and I'm unsures. And again, there's just pretty much nothing on our planet that for some reason we want to treat and train dogs to be like. And we want to try to shift them to be something that they're not. And we want to shift and change them to be this awesome, never pushy, never being bullies, never being independent, just super submissive, never give any fight back. And that, I just don't see that in any dog I've ever worked, ever, never. I see dogs that are like, you gonna make me do it? You sure you want me to do that? What about if I do it like this? What if I put teeth like this instead? What if I do this? What if I growl like this? What if I show teeth like this? What if I lunge like this? That's what I see dogs do. I don't see dogs that are just like, oh yeah, I'll do it for that treat. I don't see that. I see a very, very, very rare dog that can look decent, like not even decent, with just giving them treats all the time. You're always, always, always on edge with those dogs. You're always like, oh, I gotta, as opposed to just telling a dog, you're staying here. You're staying here. So like right here, him laying down, I'll bring him to me and I say, you're staying here. You're staying here. This is what I'm telling you to do. This is what I'm looking for you to do. And then here, he's doing this and I want to change it. This is what I want. This is what I'm telling you to do. You're not getting an option right now. This is what I'm demanding from you right now. Then I say, okay, heel. This is what I want you to do. This is where I want you to be. Down. Johnny, get down. This is what I want. And I'm saying to him, this is what I'm looking for. And I continue to keep on doing this over and over and over. And then he just looks at me and says, thank you. Because now I don't need to worry about doing anything outside of just hanging out with you, appreciating you, loving you, being kind to you, and just being respecting you. That's all my dog does right now. He's like, okay, I can do this. This is easy. But for him, I give him a little more freedom, go out here, because I'm on my property here. But on my property, I'm going to say he's going to have a different level of freedom because I started the boundaries, the foundation, the core of what we are, what we know with this. And this is the start of getting a really, really nice dog. And then later on, I could go treat after treat after treat after treat until I start seeing my dog go into this savageness looks. And then I'm like, hold on a second, buddy. Let's go back to do a little brush up on that foundation work of I'm telling you to get off the couch. I'm telling you to stop jumping on me. I'm telling you to stop barking out the window all day. I'm telling you to come back inside when I tell you to come inside. I'm telling you not to run out the door anymore. I'm telling you not to run out the car door when I get out the car door. I'm telling you not to bark in the car anymore. And that's the language that we need to give to the dogs. And we've gotten so confused because we see what looks dangerous when somebody speaks the words in the way that I speak, where it's like, oh my goodness, that guy, he must be out there and putting prongs and just yanking and throwing and putting, what is this thing called? Slip leashes on and just hanging up from trees and just beating them with baseball bats. And are there people out there like that? Yes. Yes, there are. Are they out there today still working dogs like that? Yes. Yes, they are. All that is still out there. But those people are doing it in a wrong and inappropriate way. And at the same time, there's some videos that some people see that you shouldn't be seeing because some dogs need a different level of work. Whereas this dog would never need that. My Oreo would never need that. My Shepherd is a different case. He was already in bad ways year after year of knowing I could bite people to get what I wanted. And to throw a treat at that dog or even to put a slip leash on that dog and just try to tell him to hang out with me is going to set you up for danger, man, because he knows if he doesn't want to do what you're telling him to do, he knows how to get out of that. Let me put teeth on your arm, on your face, on your leg, on your wherever. He's like, I just bite you and I can get what I want. And certain dogs like that, don't pay attention to that, because if that's not your dog, don't even think about those options with how to work with that. And if you've never worked and don't know nothing about that, just stay the heck away from that. So if you're trying to do rescue work and you see a dog that's already bit 5 people, just stay away from that if you do not know what you're doing, because you will get bit. And it's something that we need to have a good understanding of the differences of how to properly tell a dog what we want them to do, as opposed to the inappropriate ways of grabbing sticks and just beating dogs and just choking them and hanging them and dangling them and helicoptering them and doing all this stuff. That's not the proper way of telling a dog what we want. The proper way is being a soft and firm all at the same go, where I'm going to be on the same more firm of saying, this is what I want. This is what I expect. This is what you have to do. And then the dogs just calm down. That's what calms an anxious dog down. Because an anxious dog that I still continuously keep on seeing is a dog that thinks it's in the world on its own and it needs to handle everything on its own. And the dogs are incapable of doing that. They absolutely need a leader to tell them to not so much as micromanage every little thing, but to tell them everything that they're doing throughout the day. Everything. If you're saying to the dog, I don't want you to jump on me, you are saying to that dog all day, every day, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm telling you not to do that. Instead of, please don't, and throw him a treat. He's going to jump on you. Please don't, throw him a treat. He's going to jump on you. Please don't. And you do that. Then you get frustrated, and then you quit. And then the dog pushes your buttons on the next thing. Please sit, and you give him a treat. Please sit, and you give him a treat. And then you run into that case that you get frustrated because the dog's not sitting anymore. And then you quit. and then you go to a down, please down, and then you quit, please down, and then you quit, please down, and you just keep doing that over and over. And then you quit on a few of these things, and now the dog is now the ruler of that house because he knows that you don't know how to take the leadership position, and now it's more challenging to get that dog to listen to what you want to tell it to do. Because now it thinks that it's in control, and it has to maintain that level of control to be able to make sure that it's going to be able to like get what it needs, such as food, such as water, such as shelter, and it's not really caring about you. The dog doesn't even respond to you. It looks at you like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't care about you. And that's something that is, especially to change that, you got to be very, very strict with the rules from now on. You got to be very strict that when you said down, you said down, and you have to tell the dog how to do that instead of please baby, please baby, please do it. That's not helping you. That's not going to do anything for you. When you tell him, and then you're going to have to constantly keep on telling him everything that you want. You're telling him, stay with me. You're telling him, don't take off. You're telling him, don't go over there. You're telling him, don't sniff that right now. You're telling him, you can sniff that. You're telling him, you can go potty over here. You're telling him, you can't potty right there. You're telling him all these things. And then the dog is going to switch that relationship role from being a bully, of being ruthless, to being just straight up evil is what it is, to being a nice follower, to listen to your word and start to respect you and start to look at you as you are, the leader in this household. We all, as human beings, should be leaders to these dogs. And the more and more that you try to lose that leadership position with your dog, that's why, to me personally, I see more and more crazy dogs out here, way more crazy looking dogs, because we're not taking a leadership position of them. That's why a dog with me is not going to react, it's not going to bark, it's not going to do nothing, because I said, I don't want that. I'm telling you I don't want that. I'm not asking you. I'm not giving you a choice, man. This is what we have to do. This is how we need to act. This is how we need to be in this world. This is how we need to make sure everyone else feels safe. Like a dog like this, barking and lunging and going crazy, this can scare someone to death in reality. The size of this mouth on this dude, the size of this teeth on this dog, it is wild. And I can't have him out there just going crazy. That could scare the heck out of people. Anyone's German Shepherds lunging and barking, that's scary, man. Those dogs are intense. It's scary looking. People already have a bad perception of Shepherds, of Dobermans, of Rottweilers, of Pitties, of all these dogs because they're in all these movies showing how dangerous they are, man. The German Shepherds get a bad rep because of police dogs. They're biting on people doing this. People see my Shepherd, they're already like, oh my goodness, it's a Shepherd. I get it. And it's for me to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not allowing you to bark. I'm not allowing you to lunge. I'm not allowing you to even in public get too excited, because I don't want anyone to get nervous. I don't my own self want to get nervous. That's the thing that we have to tell our dogs what we want instead of just asking them over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that's where you're going to find that your dog is going to finally start to respect you, because it's going to say thanks for taking a leadership position, and it's going to relax and it's just going to chill. It's just going to stop. It's going to say, okay, whatever. Let me just take a nap now. And that's the one thing that I see dogs do right away is they take a nap after I take that leadership position. Because it's like, oh, he's got it. I don't need to do nothing now. I don't need to bark out the windows. I don't need nothing. This dude's got it. He'll take care of it. So let me just roll over and relax. And I'm like, yeah, make that happen, man. Because now you're in the state, Johnny, get down. Get down. Because now you're in a stage where the dog is finally able to just say, oh, everything is cool. Everything is all right. And right here, I'm going to get on him because he's wanting to whine because he wants to get in on that. He wants to chase that. He wants to get in them chickens running. So he got this like, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And I'm telling him, no, you're not doing that. I'm taking the control right now. And I like to change the pitch of that so it make it very, very obvious. But in reality, I'm not like, you better do it. I'm just like, hey, man, you better get down. Hey, man, you better chill. Hey, man, you better stop that. Hey, man, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't want that. I'm not looking for that. I'm not coming at him in no ruthless, mean way. And that's the language that we really need to start to be able to give these dogs to understand who we are as humans. Because to me, that's why to me, a lot of dogs are smelling your butts and smelling your crotches and chewing on and booty bumping all on you and hitting you, jumping all on you and chewing all on you. They think you're a dog. They don't think that you're a human being. And so they think they're a human being and you're a human being. The dogs don't think that there's a leader here, that there's a different species here, there's a different level of intelligence here. The dogs literally think that we're the same. And when a dog thinks that it's the same as you, that's why you're having the dogs that are barking like crazy. That's why you're having the dogs that are trying to eat every single person that walks in the house. That's why your dogs are doing this crazy, savage-looking stuff. Because we're not taking that leadership position. And it's nothing that is hard. There's nothing that's hardcore. There's nothing that is evil about it. There's nothing that is just ruthless about it. It's simply just putting the leash on the dog and doing everything I was talking about in my video, talking about how to get the leash to be able to get the dog to sit, how to get the leash to be able to get the dog to down. And then next I'll be talking about how to get the leash to be able to get the dog to wait, how to get the leash to be able to get the dog to jump up on stuff, how to get the leash to be able to get the dog off of stuff, how to get the leash to do all of these things, how to get the leash to be able to get the dog to be able to walk. The leash is going to be able to get everything that you need to be able to make sure that that dog knows that you are the one that's in control here, and in control in a way to be able to keep him safe or her and yourself safe. And in a way to be able to calm everyone down in the whole entire situation. So this dog sitting here, he was hitting that whine, and then I said, no, we're done. I don't want that. I'm not desiring that. And it's finished. He's like, okay, well, I'll just sit and look this way now. And that's calming him down, as opposed to him getting all excited, looking at the chicks like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I said, we're not doing that right now. And he says, okay, well, maybe we'll do it later. I said, maybe we will. And that's why he looked at me like that. Maybe we'll do something later. I said, we might. But right now, I'm telling you, this is what I need. Because if I allow you to keep building and building and building and building and building, that's where you have a dog that appears like it's calm and then just goes. It just lunges it right off at that leash because it's not calm still. It's still thinking that it's in control. It's in the leadership position. And I want it to take the complete role of the leadership position. And that's why I can trust any of my dogs anywhere, anybody, any situation, because they're so calm. They're calm, and it's going to take them a lot to build and build and build and build and build. So right there, he started building up to like a 5 or a 6. He's at a 6, no, I was even say a 6 or 7 because he get that whine going. He gets that whine going, I'm like, dude. And that's where I'm going to use leash pressure to guide him, to get him stopped from staring at what he's staring at, move him around, look him around and say, this is what I need. And now we are safe. Now we are calm. Now he understands, I got to listen to this guy. And sometimes the dogs don't like that at first because they liked being bullies. But a couple of days of us taking that leadership position, the dogs are like, thank you. Thank you. They calm down. That's why I got a little pushback on one of my videos of giving a dog a correction, the dog saying thank you. And I'm promising you, guaranteeing you that that does happen because the dogs are going wild in their brains and they are unable to deal with the pressure that's put upon them, with having to decide everything, having to just go around this world. Once we take that leadership position, the dog just relaxes and says, man, I appreciate everything, man. You're showing me the real freedom, the real beauty, the real joy of life right now. And that's right there something that I will say, that I believe in God and I believe in Jesus like no other. That once you just stop and you just chill and you just allow God to take control, you're going to realize how much calmer your life is going to be. How much everything is just going to be able to relax for you. It's a trickle-down effect that I can just see. I can see how I can take the leadership position of dog and get it to understand how to relax and get it to enjoy life way more. Because when you're relaxed, you get to have fun. You get to just do more exciting things. You get to go on more walks. You get to go to more places. You get to go to more restaurants, to more stores, and you get to ride in the car more. You get to be more. You get to come to work sometimes when they allow dogs to come to work. You can go do road races with your dog now. You can do so much more when your dog is calm. But when your dog is anxious, it can't do any. It's a worthless dog almost in a way. It has to be locked up. You're stressed everywhere it goes, every walk you go, so you can't do as much. And that's one fact that I'm going to state same with us as human beings. When we are stressed and we are anxious, we are living a horrible life because we're not being able to see the world for what it is. But when you calm down, when you say, hey, take the role, man, you got this, you're able to look at a tree and say, wow, that's a tree. Like, that's an amazing tree. There's something about that tree. Wow, that's a dog. That's an amazing creature right here. This is so cool. Wow, these are chickens. Wow, this is this. You get to look at everything and say like, wow, I'm here. I'm in this. And that's what I provide the dogs, and that's what God provides to me. And that's what gives everyone on this planet the opportunity, the availability to be able to have a good life, is to be able to calm down. And that starts by allowing, for us as humans, God to take the leadership position, and us for dogs to take that leadership position. And I'm telling you, the more that you're able to relax and calm your dog down, you see that magic start happening by taking that leadership position, the more you're going to look at your own self and say, huh, what can I do to be able to get like that as well? And that's when we can start having some really good conversations. Thank you.